Hi, everyone. My name is Michael. I'm a product manager at Medic, and I'm really excited to share a couple updates with you. And I wanted to start with a quick recap for those who might be joining us for the first time. One of the key areas we've been focusing on lately is making sure the CHT is super easy for health workers to learn and use. And to do that, we've been updating the UI to have a really familiar user experience, one that's consistent with other Android apps. There were a couple of key areas that we wanted to address, and it made sense to split these into 6 different stages. We've completed several of those stages already and still have 2 remaining. So just as a quick recap of what those are, in 3.17, we updated how people interact with the filter and search features. In 4.1, we updated how bulk delete works. And just before heading off for New Year's, we finished the 4th stage, which addresses secondary actions like edit, delete, and export. And that one's planned to be in 4.2. I'm going to show you a short demo of what that change looks like here in a second, but just wanted to point out that there are 2 remaining stages of this longer term evolution that we haven't started yet. The next one will move additive actions like creating people and submitting reports into a floating action button, or a FAB, as we call it, like you see in that, I think the 5th screenshot. The last stage will update how navigation works. So that's kind of an overview of what the total evolution looks like and where we're at today. I'm going to jump into a quick demo. I'm logged in as a health worker named Mel, and we can see immediately one of the changes, the one that was in 3.17, so the search bar here changed. This is how people interact with it changed, but not the functionality. The functionality remained the same. So I'm going to go ahead and just search for Kelly. Tap on Kelly Smith here. So oops, my Zoom window is covering something, sorry. Okay, so the most recent change, the one that's going to be in 4.2 are the secondary actions. So if you remember in the bottom bar down here before, there used to be 3 or 4 things in that bottom bar. We're starting to move things away from the bottom bar, and this stage basically moved the sort of secondary actions. So for example, edit and delete are now available through this the kebab menu, but previously it was down in the bottom bar. So that's the actual actions you take up here, nothing's changed. So if you edit, it looks exactly the same as you did before. The only thing that changed is where you access those. And the next stage will move sort of positive actions out of this bottom bar and into that little floating action button. So it gives health workers, it's very clear what the intended action is on these pages. So again, this stage really just addressed moving these types of functions off of the bottom bar. And it looks the same on the reports tab, for example. And you'll see here, again, the updates to search looks the same as the contacts, the people tab, and you can see what the filters looks like. That was also in 3.17, and we did an in-depth demo of that before. So again, really the biggest change on 4.2 is the secondary actions here. So that's it for the quick demo. So the next thing I want to chat about is about the in-app training cards. And again, as a quick recap, the cards provide a way to remotely train health workers. They are completely customizable, and you can use them to train on new features, such as the updates to the user interface. You can use them to train based on changes to workflows, or even as a way to conduct refresher training. The cards were originally made available as a feature release from 3.15. And we've deployed them in a couple of live projects, and they worked really, really well. In those projects, we could see data on how many health workers had viewed the cards, how long they spent reading them, and whether or not they completed the training immediately or canceled out of them a few times. Based on the success of that, these original implementations, and the fact that we had a lot of interest from other projects wanting to train remotely, we decided to basically rebase this to 4.x and include them in a regular release. So they'll be generally available very soon. Not exactly sure which release it will be in, but it will be in a release very soon. So that's it for a quick care teams update. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Hi, I'm Ashley Jones, based here in the United States, and I'm a technical product owner. And I'm going to give a demo today about Supervisor CHW Create. This is the sort of sibling feature to CHW Offline Replace. Both features enable in the field operations with users. With Offline Replace, we replace an existing user in the field without connectivity and allow a CHW working with the supervisor to hand their phone off and replace the user. With CHW Create, this enables a supervisor to create a new user in an existing area. So I'll go ahead and give a demo of that now. All right, so everything is documented in this ticket. We talk about, of course, what the feature is, and as well how to install it and how to use it. All of these feature releases are always done in the public so that you can follow along even before there's a release. But to get started with this feature, you'll need to update your app settings, ensuring you have the correct transition enabled, that you have token login enabled, and that the app URL is set. Token login is the feature that sends login links via SMS directly to CHWs. This allows server-side transitions to send the login link, and as soon as the CHW clicks the link, they'll be logged in. This is a powerful feature that we're leveraging in the two most recent features with CHW Replace and with Supervisor CHW Create. So getting over to the actual app itself, we have a supervisor logged in here on the left, sorry, CHT admin logged on the left. They're an online user and they can obviously see all the users that are created. And we're currently on the feature release that's installed. So now on the right is the supervisor, and we're going to go ahead and create a new contact. And by filling out this new contact form, we're going to go ahead and create a user as well. So we'll create the new CHW named Ting. And a key part here is to use a valid phone number. This is because that token login link is going to be leveraged off of this phone number. Without this phone number, the process of creating the user won't work. So I've selected the role, and this is the role that the new user will have as well. And I submit. Now, because I'm online, this has happened relatively immediately, but if I was offline, the process to create the user would happen once I've synchronized. But because I am effectively online, just by submitting that, you can see that there's a new user created and that this user has the correct role and that they use SMS login. As well, there's an outbound message that's pending, created a few seconds ago, and this is the link that the new CHW can click to log in and begin using the app right away. Right, I'll turn it back over to y'all to share the screen once I figure out how to do that. Oh, great, thank you. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the sustainability index. And I put in the new CHT logo on our last call. Mark had talked about this. I'm using it again because it talks about sort of this wonderful feedback and endless support that we hope to give our users. The sustainability index is the idea that self-hosted partners need to succeed. They need to always have their instance be up. They need to know how to administer it, and they need to know how to do day-to-day operations. So for example, in this case, you might have the ability to run 4.0, run 4.1, run 4.2 whenever the new feature comes out, and trust that when you change configurations for purging or for muting, that these features won't tip over your CHT instance, that it will be healthy and responsive. Your CHTs can continue to deliver care. And then on a more sort of holistic sense, are there basic operations that you feel comfortable doing? Can you onboard users? Can you use the bulk upload feature? These all represent a holistic perspective on how the CHT can be there for you. And we're hoping to actually quantify what this looks like and maybe have different levels of what a right size looks like for small nascent deployment, scaling all the way up to a national deployment. This is something Allies will be working on this quarter, and we're excited to deliver some features on this. There's a number of improvements and one bug fix. You can look at the read more link at the bottom there, but the features that Michael is talking about for the UI redesign went live in 4.1, which is the bulk deleted reports. This allows you to have a more intuitive and current interface around being able to select many reports to delete them. As well, prior to 4.1, there was a very awkward constraint around allowing a user to have multiple roles, and these were tied to permissions. In 4.1, we really open that up and allow you to select multiple roles in the administrator interface and to more natively configure this instead of kind of sneaking in back behind the scenes and setting things in the API or directly on the user object in Couch. The CHW offline replace is in 4.1. This is the sibling feature that I mentioned where you can, without connectivity, replace a CHW with the help of a supervisor. Also along in the care team's great organizing of the UI is reordering the hamburger menu. That login isn't next to sync. For those that know this, oftentimes login is actually physically removed because of how dangerous it is for a CHW to be logged out. So we now have it at the bottom and sync is at the top, really giving some physical space on the screen to keep those separate. Finally, there was a scenario where if the patient ID, which is the 5 or 6 digit ID that we give to each patient, is empty, then reports don't get linked back up to the contact. So we like to highlight not only the improvements, but also the bug fixes for those that are out there experiencing issues. And that is up for 4.1. I realize I didn't pause on the last demo for questions, which I didn't see now in chat.
So hello, everyone. My name is Neeraj Sitola. I'm developer advocate at Medic, and I'm based at Kathmandu, Nepal. So today I'll be briefly talking about the CHT application developer survey. So if you have not filled the CHT application developer survey, we have the survey up until the January 15. So the survey is about collecting the feedback from the CHT application developers, which will help us to understand how well the CHT framework is meeting your requirements. And it will also help us to take the next step on enhancing the CHT framework. So please, if you can spend some time to give us feedback, it would be really very important and valuable for us. We also have been publishing the some of the summary after analyzing the feedbacks from the participants. So we put them on the blog post on what we are taking the next steps and what we have received the feedback. So we'll keep on doing that too, based on your response, so that we'll make a community aware of what are the next steps we are taking based on the survey feedback. That's all I have. Back to you, Anthony.
Thanks. And just to remind you, the deadline is 15th of January. Please, we'd like to hear your feedback, share, submit the survey. To the last part of the presentation is the announcements, where we have our new director of community. So I would like to invite Nekesa to do an introduction.
Thanks, Anthony. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here. My name is Nekesa Were. I'm Director of Community at Medic. I think I'm no more than 4 weeks old, having joined mid-December. So this is my first call, and I'm extremely excited to meet everyone. I saw some familiar faces, or rather some familiar names in the chat and so on. And so I suspect I may have interacted with some people here in previous responsibilities. If you happened on your travels to pass by the iHub in Nairobi, then we might have interacted there. Or if you are a member of a hub that's part of the AfriLabs network, where AfriLabs is a Pan-African network of innovation hubs, then perhaps we interacted there. So in that case, it's great to see you again. You may see me on a few calls as I acclimatize that you would have with my team members. So anything with Anthony, Yoniraj, or Esther, I hope to join and get to know you a bit more. But also I really look forward to interacting with you on our community forum. So I encourage you to get onto that and share some of your experiences that you've been having. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks. And in the spirit, and I'm looking forward to you guys reaching out to Nekesa in case you need any support from the community.
Absolutely. On the forum, or if you need to email me, it's nekesa@medic.org, NEKESA.
Thank you. And in the spirit of knowing each other, I've seen some new organizations that have joined today our call. So I think we need also to hear from them, just an introduction and a short update on what they're working on. So I can invite either Nora or Job from MSF to do a short introduction.
My name is Job. I work with Nora for MSF IKEA, which is MSF, but IKEA is a TIC program on MSF. So what we are doing is that we have been using CHT for a while now. We are kind of developing clinical algorithms that are running on CHT. And we'll give you updates, and thanks for the Medic community for your support and always keeping in touch with us. I'll let Nora introduce herself.
Yes, as explained, Job, we are working all together in the MSF IKEA project. So that is a big project in the MSF in the international movement of MSF. And we decide to move, to change the solution and to move on the CHT solution. And now we are deploying this in our organization. And for now, we are really happy with this. So thank you very much for all the work you are doing.
My name is Maris, and I'm new to the Medic, and I'm really excited about the things, and I'm very glad to learn the things over there. And I'm supporting the ICM community to help and in the development thing, just what we can achieve. And as I knew, so I cannot explain much about it, but yeah, I'm learning over it and trying to deploy the 4.1 version on the machines. And yeah, once I done, then I'll share more brief about it in the next meetings.
Thanks. We are happy to have you around, and we are looking forward to having you in our future calls. So I think that's all for today. I would like to thank all of you for getting time to join this call, and also to thank the presenters, the MSF team, and the presenters, the product team, and also the community team for facilitating this session. We are hoping to see you join the next roundup call on February 9th for other exciting updates and to learn more from the different implementations. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day, and we hope to see you soon, and let's continue the conversation on the forum. Thank you and bye.